Friday. We made it. Can you believe it? Let's go over what we talked about yesterday so we can get our work done and enjoy our weekend. Okay, so what happened yesterday? We talked about cellular division. That's when our cells in our body will divide, and they do this to replace our old cells. You can see we had one cell starting to divide, and bam, 2 new cells. Why do we do this? To repair our damaged cells if we get injured or anything. Your body actually growing, you need more cells to grow, and you're just replacing those old cells who have lived a long, healthy life, and they just eventually die off. Moving on. The cell cycle, or that lifespan of the cell. There are 3 stages of the cell cycle. 1, we have our interphase. That's when your cell is just doing its job or its function. It's just hanging out, doing what it was made to do. Mitosis, that's when your cell makes a copy or replicates the chromosomes, those little X-shaped things that live inside your nucleus. That holds all that genetic information. They're going to make a copy. Then in cytokinesis, there's that long fancy word, 2 new cells are actually made. So that happens right after mitosis. You've got cell 1, cell 2. They look like potatoes, but I swear to you, they're cells. Last part, all the way over here. This is a long board. We've got mitosis. Let's take a closer look at mitosis. There are 4 phases or stages or steps, whatever you want to say. We have prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. We can remember the order by thinking PMAT, P-M-A-T. Again, we're going to talk about what actually happens in those phases on Monday, but for now, that's all we got to remember. Mitosis, that's only going to happen in your body cells or somatic cells. It's not going to happen in your sex cells. We'll talk about what happens with those later on. Last but definitely not least, mitosis results in 2 identical copies of your genetic material. So you're going to end up with 2 cells that are identical. This is a form of asexual reproduction. All right, so what you and I are going to do together. If you are looking at your assignment, you have this little Jamboard called Cell Cycle. Go ahead and give that a click. It's going to pop, let me move myself, pop this little thing up. All we're going to do for this right here is we're going to label interphase, mitosis, and cytokinesis. And if you're like, I totally forget how to spell those, it's all right up here in this corner. So we've got our 3 pictures. Let's start with this first one. So it's either interphase, mitosis, cytokinesis. We can see there are 4 steps, and we even see that it's labeled prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. If we remember, that sounds like the 4 steps of mitosis. So let's grab that sticky note, type mitosis. I'm going to make it pink. Make it whatever color you want. Drag it so I know which one we're labeling. Okay. So over here, it looks like we have a picture of 2 cells. So 1 cell, 2 cell, and it looks like they're kind of connected, but they're just splitting apart. So when we have 2 new cells being formed, we know that is cytokinesis. So let's say cytokinesis. Let's make it blue. I like that. Okay, so if it's not cytokinesis and it's not mitosis, it must be interphase. We have this cell. It's not looking like it's doing anything special. It's just hanging out, doing what cells do. That's going to be interphase. So let's type it interphase. Orange, and move it over. See how easy that was? I'm feeling generous on this Friday. Okay, so what do you need to do by yourself for the rest of the day? Let's take a look. In your independent practice, you see this paragraph that says to open up this reading that says cancer, mitosis gone wrong. So if you go back to your assignment, there is an article. It's really short. It's like 2 pages, but the font is super big, so it's not tough. It's going to talk about how mitosis is related to cancer. So I know not a fun topic, but I think it's important to realize that the stuff we're talking about in here applies to real life. And cancer is definitely real life. And you can see, once you read the article, that a lot of what we talked about today has to do with cancer. So give it a quick read. And then you have these 4 questions. Just answer them. All the answers are in the reading. Then scroll down and you've got this quizzes to fill out. Remember, once you complete the quizzes, I automatically get sent a report, so you don't have to worry if I see your score or not. As long as you complete the whole thing and type in your full name, I'll get it. And last but not least, don't forget that exit ticket. Remember, that's worth some points, so scroll down, make sure you do it. All right, if you have any questions at all, big or small, you know where to find me. Have a good weekend.